Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Custom Carving and Epoxy UK. I hope you're all doing well. Saturday night here in the UK at the minute, and it's 9 o'clock. No better time than to do a resin experiment. So you may remember last time we did these sort of psychedelic blooms, which actually wasn't the look I was going for, but I think they've turned out stunning. But what I wanted to do in this experiment is basically use the same molds and just see what they come out like naturally in the molds to a certain extent as blooms. But in this experiment I'm not going to be using any alcohol inks. It's going to be mica only, just to show that you can get those effects even without using the alcohol inks. So all I've done is mixed up around about 8 ounces of resin. I'm using the T-Expert 1:1, which is a medium viscosity resin, and as you can see the temperature at the minute is about 32 degrees. Now I want it to get to about 34, 35 before I start this project, and the reason why is I want it to be a little bit thicker, and that is because I'm going to be using mainly micas, and micas sink faster than alcohol inks, so you do want it to be that tiny bit thicker. So I've got my piping bags and everything ready at the side. I've got 3 cups here for the colours that I'm going to use, and for this I wanted quite a simple colour scheme, nothing too extravagant, which is unusual for me if you watch the channel. So I'm going to be going with ocean white for the white, with a little bit of iridescent blue in there. I'm going to be using quite a deep metallic blue as well, because I love this pigment at the minute. It's one of my favourites. And then I'm going to be going in with silver, but I'm going to add some of this really sort of glittery, almost chameleon blue to that silver as well, just see what colour that comes out like. And I think those 3 colours together in a bloom should look amazing. And I'm not going to add anything to the centre of these ones either. I want to see what it will look like just with a bit of a swirl effect in the middle. So that's what we're going to be doing in this experiment. And if you do me a favour guys, if you're liking the content at all as well, like and subscribe to the channel. We're nearly at 7,000 now, which is amazing. And if you can, memberships are now open as well. So if you can, by all means just click join, go to the channel page, click join, become a member and get all of those member perks as well. So really excited for what's to come over the coming months and new year. And all I need you guys to do as a minimum is just like, subscribe, put something in comments, you know, let me know that you're liking what I'm doing. I've just ordered another 2 gallons of resin, so we should be okay for resin for the next few weeks at least, hopefully. So I think temperature wise we're about there, and I'm gonna 1 more degree. So one of the things I want to know from you guys is how long do you like these videos to be? Because I've had different comments from different people, some saying they prefer the full 1:1 tutorials, which may take up to an hour sometimes. Some people prefer the quick 15-20 minute videos, and I'd be really interested to know what your thoughts are. I'm probably going to do a combination of 2. So some of them the long form, some of them the short form, just see which one gets the most views. But again, let me know in comments, because I want this channel to be your channel as well as mine. And I think by doing it together and growing together as a community, we could create one of the best resin communities out there, is the plan. So at the minute this is at 33, which is where I would normally go, but as I say, I want to leave it a couple more minutes, so I'm going to fast forward until this gets to at least 35 before we start. In fact, what I'm going to do whilst that's still warming up is just get my pots of colours ready at the side. So the first one, as I say, I'm going to be doing just a drop of the ocean white, and then this is just some iridescent blue powder that I got from Temu probably about 2 or 3 months ago, to be honest with you, but I really like the look of it in the white bloom, and it doesn't overtake, which is the key thing, and it doesn't make it too heavy. So again, just around about that much is what I'm going to put in that pot, trying not to spill it everywhere. So that is in there like so. And then I'm going to put 1 drop of the Let's Resin Ocean White. And always remember to shake it, guys, before you do it, because otherwise you won't get the right mix. And I just want literally 1 drop to go in there. 1 drop and a tiny bit of string. And I think that should be perfect. So that is that, and excuse my gloves. I'm trying, as almost an early New Year's resolution, to get at least 3 projects out of every pair of gloves. So you'll have to excuse that, so sorry about that. Next is going to be my metallic blue from, it's just called Resin Art Pigment Paste off of Temu. And in fact, I am going to wipe my gloves before I start actually pouring, because I can already see flakes of dry resin, and I don't want that in the finished piece. So just stirring this around. It's quite a thick consistency, as you can see, and then whatever's left on my stick is what I'm going to use. You don't need a lot of it because it's very highly concentrated. So there's that. So I'm just going to get the silver out, and the reason I'm putting the blue specks in this as well is because this silver, it's not actually one of my favorites. It's quite dark, and I want something to just lighten it up a little bit. So again, just putting decent amount. It is a metallic, so again, it's going to be heavier. That sort of amount in there. And then I'm going to add, as I say, I think this is a blue chameleon, because it really shimmers. But again, I don't want a lot because I still want it to be mainly silver. But I love mixing micas and seeing what colours we get from it. I think that's part of the fun of working with resin. So again, probably about a quarter of as much, if you can see there. And that's just going to go in with that silver. And I don't know what colour that's going to be when I mix it. So we'll be back in 2 minutes once this resin is up to temperature. There we go, so they're a little bit cleaner, nothing flaky on there now. So hopefully my resin's up to temperature now. 34.7, so almost perfect, because I said I was aiming for 35 degrees. What I am going to do before I start anything now, though, as I say, is just give these another quick wipe, because I did see some dried up bits of resin come off my gloves into those molds, which I don't want, because nothing worse than a bit of dried up resin ruining your piece if you get a nice piece. So that's that one, and then this one as well. And there we go, they should be quite clean, hopefully. Tiny bit on there and on there. So now I'm going to pour my colours, and literally I'm probably going for about 3/4 of a pot for each colour. Shouldn't need more than that, and I'm intrigued as to what that silver and blue one's going to come out like, so we'll find out. And then the rest of my resin is just going to, in fact, no, I've just spotted a little tiny something in there, which I don't want in there. Don't know what it is, actually. Something pink. There we go, that's gone. Wonderful. And now I'm just going to pour this reasonably evenly, hopefully, in each one. And I want it to be around about 1/2 centimetre thick, if I can get it there. Like so. And then I'm just going to go around and make sure they're reasonably even before I start adding anything else. And as I say, this is the T-Expert 1:1 resin I'm using, which normally I think is quite a medium viscosity resin. And I think these projects always work out better for me with a medium viscosity resin rather than a low. And there we go, I think that's reasonably even all the way around. If anything, that one needs a touch more. And I think I've measured it about right today, so about 8 ounces for these 4, which isn't bad actually, because a lot of my coasters are a lot thicker than that. Then anything spare can just go in these. And there we go. So, just going to mix up the colours and put them in the piping bags ready. So this is the blue and the silver together. Again, you see how dark it is as a silver. That's why I've just added those blue glittery bits. And I don't think it's made that much of a difference, but we won't know until it's cured, so I'm not going to play around with it too much, just making sure it's nicely mixed, and then that can go straight in the piping bag. And anything spare, you know me, it will go into a drip mould. At the minute I think I'm doing a rabbit, so again these colours will be interesting to see in a rabbit, and he's already got orange on him at the minute. This is the dark metallic blue, and you've probably seen me use this a lot in recent projects, and it's just because it's such a nice blue, you know. And I'm so shocked I got it off Temu, to be honest. It's one of my favourite pigment pastes. So there we go. Every now and then you can get some good deals on Temu and actually get a good product. Not all the time. I think I'm about 50-50 with products off Temu at the minute. 50% of them work for me. The other 50% unfortunately don't, or are no good. Let me know how you're finding it at the minute if you get stuff from Temu. And this is just that white with the iridescent powder, and you can just see that shimmer it gives it, and that does actually come through to the bloom usually, which is really, really nice. So there you go. Still semi-transparent. I can still just about see the stick through it, but you get that nice shimmer as well. So that is the white. And again, just pouring that into the piping bag, so that my 3 piping bags should hopefully be ready to pipe now. And those of you that follow the channel regularly know I'm not the best piper. So we'll see how this project goes. But I'm just going to get, as well, they're in the piping bag. All you do is give it a squeeze, make sure it doesn't come out the back when you squeeze it, pushing it down to the front of that bag, like so. And then I just give it a twist, and it is starting to feel warm in the bag, so I think I've got the temperature about right, and that is now ready to go. So that's my white. Next is going to be the blue. So again, same process, get your bag, squeeze it down, give it a twist, and it is as simple as that. And then the silver. And again, that one should now be ready to go. And I've just noticed I haven't got any kitchen roll at the side of me, which is unusual for me. I'm going to get some actually. So there we go. Always have kitchen roll at the side. But I am limited on space in my little workspace, as it were. So next thing I'm going to do is just get any bubbles that might be trapped in that mould. So all I do for that is I literally get a silicone tool, go around all of the edges, because that's where they're likely to stick. And it is thickening up already. I can feel it in the resin. So I'm just getting a bit of a shifty on. Any that I can see that are stuck to the bottom as well, I'm just going to try and bring into the middle and up to the top, like so. But if you don't do this step, guys, you will always get an air bubble, either on the front, on the sides. So just take a little bit of time before you put your design in to make sure you solve those bubbles. And again, I'm just using micas for this. So there's no alcohol inks, just micas, just to see what effect it has. And then the plan is to pretty much follow the design of the moulds, but also do a spiral in the middle. You'll see what I mean when it gets to the piping stage. And I think that's most of them that I can see, apart from that one just there, which is stubborn. So now, before I go in with the colours, just going to use my torch and go around and get those bubbles. Again, when you're doing this, try not to be too close to your edges, because that's where you're going to get problems with potentially your resin bonding to the edge of the mould, ruining your mould, ruining your resin. Goodbye bubbles. And there we go, I've just spotted one bubble there, which I'm going to try and get out. So there we go, that is that part. That's the easy part, he says. And now it's for the piping. It's going to be piping in that design. And I'm hoping I'm going to get it right. So I'm going to start with the white. Just getting my scissors ready to chop the end off. And the plan is here to try and follow the design of the mould initially for the first layer. And you'll see what I mean in a second. And you want your white, well, whatever colour you're using, you want it to just naturally drip out. You don't want to have to squeeze. There we go. So just trying to get an even layer, going as close as I can to the edge, hopefully without touching the edge. Like so. Same for the other one. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. I'm just trying to get it as close as I can to that design that's already in there. I've just spotted another bubble, but it's too late now. And it doesn't look like it's sinking. So hopefully that means I've got the temperature right. There we go. And now I'm just going to fold that up and come back to it in a minute. Literally fold it up in one of my pots. Next I'm going to go in with the blue. I'm going to try and snip this a little bit smaller as well, because I want the white to be one of the heaviest colours standing out. There we go, that's coming out nicely as well. So again, just doing exactly the same as what I've just done with the white. If it overlaps a little, it overlaps. Like so. Again, let me know in comments what you think this one's going to turn out like. And as I say, guys, I'm not the best piper in the world, as you can probably see. But again, just do what you can, you know, and hope for the best. Best way with resin, you never know what's going to turn out like until the next day when you demold. So now just going to go in with the silver. And again, just trying to follow it as closely as I can. Ideally not touching. There we go. So that's the first part done. Now I'm just going to literally do the spiral with all three colours and try and go out as close as I can to the edges. So again, starting off again with the white. And I'm going to start in the centre and just go round. Like so. Trying not to touch the resin like I just did with my glove. There we go. So that's my white done with. Just trying to wipe what I can. Now back in with the blue. And again, just trying to go in the gap now, if I can. And I'm just hoping that we don't get the B word with this, because it is feeling a little bit heavier than normal. But I'm hoping just by waiting for that extra couple of degrees, that will help. Right, so that is the blue, and now for the silver again, and then it's just a case of drawing in the design. But I'm wanting this silver to be quite thin, hopefully, because if anything, I think this is going to be the heaviest one, with it being a metallic. And with this one, as you can see, I'm actually overlapping because there's not much space left, to be honest. And as I say, my biggest concern with this one is the B word, because all of these are quite heavy micas, and if I'm going to get it, it's going to be with these, but we'll find out. So there we go, I'm happy with that as a design. Now I am still going to draw the petals in, but all I'm going to do is bring it in from where they point in to the center on every one of them, like So that way, whatever natural petal shape I'm going to get from the mould, we should hopefully keep. And they're starting to look nice, so as long as we don't get that dreaded B word, I think we'll be okay. And then, do I pull them out or don't I? I don't think I will with these. I am going to give it a bit of a swirl in the centre. Quite a heavy one. And I'm quite happy with that. In fact, no, I am. Just the middle one. Just the middle one on each one. I'm just going to pull out a little bit like so. I just like the effect that that should hopefully give us. And I think, if nothing else, we should have quite an interesting design. You'll have to ignore my dog tap dancing in the background. He likes to get involved in these videos. And I think they'll all look slightly different, but they'll still look like a set, is the hope. No two 3D blooms, no matter how you do them, will ever come out exactly the same. But I think that's part of the beauty of them as well. They all have a uniqueness, even if you're trying to do them as a set, using the same colours, the same micas, you'll get very different results. Because the resin has a mind of its own. And there we have it. I think they're looking pretty at this point, so I am quite hopeful. I'm just going to give them a torch now and then leave them. And I'm not going to back these. I think they'll be pretty enough without a back, and sometimes just leaving them transparent, it gives you the best effect. And sometimes you can actually spoil them by putting a back on. But there we go, I'm pretty happy with that. They already look like they're trying to bloom. So hopefully in the morning we'll have some pretty pieces. I'm just going to pour the rest of the resin into a drip mould, and I'll see you guys ready for demould tomorrow. So here we go, guys. Next day, time for demould, and I'm excited for this. And you've just missed it because I thought I'd push record and I didn't, but I have demoulded the rabbit drip mould, and he's come out really well. But what's really strange is I had some of those iridescent rocks spare in one of the projects, and I just put them in the mould, and obviously they're heavier than the resin, and it's created almost a rabbit brain on the top. So that is very, very strange, but I quite like the mould, you know, and Easter's not that far away. I know it's nearly Christmas, but yeah, I think he's come out really well, just with those different spear drips of resin that I've had left over from projects, and I really like him actually. I think the design's really good, like the ears, and just not sure about the brain that I've created with those rocks, but there we go. So that is the drip rabbit. Now for the main part, obviously these coasters, and I'm a bit worried about blobbing because it was quite heavy with it just being the micas, but I absolutely love the back, the way that's come out. So I'm hoping I've got something nice on the front, but we'll find out. And do me a favour, guys, if you haven't already, just tap that subscribe button. It makes a huge difference to the channel. We're just going over 7,000 subscribers now, which is amazing. I was hoping to get to 10,000 before Christmas. I don't know if that's possible, so we will see. But I want to keep growing the channel this year so that we can all keep growing as a community. And here we go. Well, I'm always worried at this part, and you can see I didn't fully fill the mould, but I think for me that's about the perfect sort of width for a coaster. And wow, look at that. And it's a little bit heavy with it just being mica, but I don't know about you, but I absolutely love that effect. Just those different colours all separated, and I even like the swirl in the middle. It's a little bit heavy, but do you know what? I think that is stunning. So that's one. Let's go through the other three, and hopefully we've got something that resembles a set. Now they'll never be identical, and it doesn't matter how you do it, you'll never get two blooms the same. And I think that's part of the fun of doing blooms, is that they're all completely unique. And again, look at the back on that. Just those shimmers. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow, I love that. Again, it's just the heaviness of the micas. It gives you a completely different bloom to the alcohol inks. And again, with that shimmer going through the whole thing, again, I think that is stunning. So 2 out of 3 I'm happy with. Can we get a full set? That is the question. Again, looks absolutely stunning on the back. I'm just hoping we've got the same on the front. Wow, that one I think is my favourite so far. Just the right amount of silver and blue. Absolutely stunning, that. So yeah, I think this has definitely been a successful project. And again, sometimes I think the better if you leave them transparent, you get the full 3D effect of the bloom then. And sometimes by putting a back on them, you can actually spoil the bloom. So that's that one. So 3 out of 3 so far. Can we get a full house? And there's been no blobbing on this. Slightly heavy in areas, but I can't see a blob in any of them. So I'm really happy with that, considering how much mica we put in there. So number 4. Can this be the best? So far, number 3 is the best, I think. Again, absolutely love that back. Reminds me a bit of a dragonfly in the colours you get on a dragonfly, but there we go. And the last one, again, lovely. No blobbing, just those beautiful separated petals from the different layers that we'll put in there. And yeah, I'm loving that. Absolutely stunning. So I think it's been a successful project. If you haven't already, do me a favour and like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys on the next video.